Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing there.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back to you. I love.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show.
Yeah, and we live, baby. Welcome in. Brody Miller, 7:15. This is the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered every day by
Go Chevrolet.
Go Chevrolet.
It's Wednesday, y'all.
I know.
It feels like it's Monday.
What does it feel like? I don't even know.
Ugh.
I thought that holiday weird day stuff was over, but it's still here.
It's like,
No, I guess we just naked on the internet.
It's
If you know, you
wild.
know.
if you know, you know.
I don't know. What do you
Naked
mean?
on the
Did you say
internet.
We
naked
just
on the
talked.
internet?
Yes.
Who?
If you know, you know. Welcome in. Welcome in. We have Brody Miller coming up at 7:15. Shea Dixon coming up at 8. We will do a recruiting hour.
Hour
Eight
with
to
Shay.
nine.
Shay the
That's
shower.
an hour. 8 to 9.
Coming up at 8 to 9. So it will not just be me trying to carry the show, or me and Katie trying to carry the show, or me, Katie, and Stewie trying to carry the show. We will get you in and out. Coming up with Brody Miller, he will answer all of your Cheez-It Bowl questions, all of your, what else, bowl game questions. We're running out of football, so now we transition almost to basketball, it feels like.
Well, there's still NFL.
Where LSU covered last night. Did not win, but got the cover.
Y'all, that game. Did y'all watch the game?
That game was good.
That was so good.
LSU basketball is fun.
That
know.
that was the first time I've watched a game start to finish.
Wait, ever?
Like this season.
No,
No,
like,
not
what?
ever. But this season, that was my first time watching a full game.
It was a good game. I mean, and to be at Kentucky and play the way that they did. And Kentucky's coach yesterday, when I was reading, or day before yesterday, said, you know, when we were talking about how Kentucky wasn't any good, and they did say, and he did say, oh, they're going to be fine. We're coming back. And they did. They are. They're good.
I mean, they have the best player in college basketball.
He's
Yeah.
making about, what? I've heard rumors from $1 million to $3 million to come back to college. So
What?
That's what you get with Oscar Tshiebwe. Like, he was a problem last night, and so if
Oh,
you're
goodness.
LSU, you just
But-
tried to battle through it.
But watching him, doesn't it like kind of like him coming back to school is kind of like he's not ready for the NBA because he doesn't have any other game besides his post.
I think
Like the NBA doesn't fit him right now
Wait, why? What do you mean?
because like
he's
the
an old school basketball player in
Right.
a new era of.
Like the NBA is like more like stretch
He needs-
bigs.
yeah, he can't shoot it.
Like he doesn't shoot at all. Like he tried to shoot a jump shot last night, and I was like, oh, I see why he's
Yeah.
offensive rebounder and a rim
Yeah.
protector because
Yeah.
he can't shoot at all.
Right.
And you saw how much Kentucky needed him, which is,
Yeah.
I think, is the bigger point, is why they, or like Calipari, made an emphasis to bring
keep
him
him.
back. So LSU falls. I don't have the internet on my laptop right now. I don't know why.
72.
74, 71.
I thought it was 72.
A great showing, though, I would say.
It
Like,
really was.
as far as going into Rupp Arena, trying to, you're going to get Kentucky's best punch, especially after LSU was able to win their first conference game at home. You saw how the PMAC was
Yes.
in their first home opener.
Rupp Arena wasn't that loud.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think LSU's got a little something cooking right now. So it feels, if you're an LSU basketball fan, it feels like we're in a good spot. You know, it's not the worst situation in the world, especially when you almost rewind. We talked to John Brady yesterday when Mikey was hosting, and there was a point in time whenever you were just pointing at Parker Edwards, and you're like, that's the only guy we have on the roster. And to see LSU be able to, I guess, compete in a way where you felt like you almost had a chance to win that game.
Yes.
And ever you're catching 9.5 on the road. Obviously, I gamble a little bit. I dabble. Shout out Caesar Sportsbook. So the 9.5 never felt like it was really in question, but it was almost like, damn, I should have put it on the money line.
That was a fight, like a
And
old school
That was.
fight.
That was. And seeing Matt McMahon, like now I'm getting more used to seeing him instead of Will Wade. Like I'm getting more used to how he operates, and like he got more passionate last night.
Yeah,
which
you're
is really
seeing
cool.
you're seeing your new dad at Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, and
Your
it's
new
just like,
stepdad.
damn, this is just dad now. Which also we will have the Will Wade podcast, I believe, today with Noah Tingle, and we will produce that coming
Tingle
up
Talks.
from, I believe, 11 to 1 is. Or 10 to 11. Either way, it doesn't go live. But we will record Will Wade, so we'll get his thoughts. Probably on a little. I think he's getting more comfortable talking about LSU basketball as well. But I agree with you. It's starting to feel like McMahon is building some semblance of putting his own thumbprint on the LSU basketball program, and it doesn't feel as bad as maybe we all kind of thought. Like I said, when you started the season or whenever you hired McMahon, it felt like there's nobody here.
Yeah.
Like he had to rebuild his own team. He gets I believe 2 or 3 players from Murray State, but the biggest get back was Adam Miller, and you saw him kind of find his form last night where he hits 5 threes. You can see his imprint on the defense. Like LSU has something. Like I said, if you'd have told me that they would have looked this good this early, I wouldn't have believed you. But you can see there's a chance that they make the tournament and that they can, I wouldn't say make a run, but at least it's not nearly as bad as what you would have thought LSU basketball was 3 months ago.
Right.
Where you didn't know what it was going to look like. You didn't know who was a player for you. Hannibal steps up again. Like they have players in the right spots where it feels you have a program building, and that's when you get into, good Lord, Scott Wilbur doesn't miss.
I know.
Like I think it feels almost safe to say he went 4 for 4. When you talk about Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, clearly Brian Kelly, and now Matt McMahon, he's not out of his depth. So everything, the LSU, the state of the program feels like it's in good hands whenever it comes to just athletics in general. And so obviously LSU falls, but it feels like it was close to being a chance where LSU could have stole one on the road and go 2-0 in conference play. Obviously,
It was so close.
that is not the case. They're now 1-1. Kentucky had to have it, and you could see that they threw their best punch. And LSU kind of wore one. It was all right. Like they were in the gym. They were in the arena.
Yeah.
It was like we weren't getting outclassed. So if there's any solace in a loss, which I feel like every coach, like Matt McMahon would not say this, but it feels like you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like
I
going
think so,
forward,
too.
Kentucky is probably what you would expect to be, I guess, the class of the league.
Yeah, they're on the up and up.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like the SEC, and Jordy talked about this a little bit before he left, the SEC isn't in the same spot that it was, I guess, last year, where it felt like they were getting into, okay, we're in a blue blood arena wherever, like the conference is starting to become a basketball conference as well. And it doesn't feel like they're quite there yet, or they're not as advanced as they were last year.
Right.
But when you have an LSU and a Kentucky, and you can see that, like I said, with an Oscar Tshiebwe, who's going to be probably a lottery pick, you see, it feels like Kentucky's going to find their way and they're going to be a tournament team. And you can just hope that LSU doesn't backslide from this, because if you're able to reel off 2 straight wins like that, it would have been a totally different conversation than we're having this morning. But it really doesn't feel like it is. Like there's no moral victories, I guess. But it still felt like at least we didn't get blowed out,
That's very true. It did feel like that. And Matt McMahon wanted to win that game so badly. Just watching him like on the sideline in the last few seconds of that game, talking to the team. I mean, I wanted it for him so bad too.
And what he does well, and I think that's something that maybe LSU was missing last year, is like his inbound play, like even his last play of the game, to be able to get like a shot up. Like LSU had it. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like his in-game coaching is excellent, and then you get the other part of it, which I didn't think we were going to be able to see, which was his passion, emotion. Like, he's a college coach.
I know.
Which is awesome to see that he can fill that role that we kind of needed from at least to keep LSU basketball afloat. And that's all you can ask for, is to keep the energy in the program. And to see him be able to do that, like I said, there's no moral victories, but it felt like there was one. You see Adam Miller, I think he hit 5 threes. Like, he's kind of finding his role a little bit again.
Yeah,
so LSU is trending upward as opposed to the other way. And I think the committee, whenever it comes to tournament time, will be able to see that. And it's not, like I said, it's not nearly as bad as we thought we were going to be heading into the season. But, like I said, Brody Miller coming up at 7:15.
And don't forget women's basketball, too. They're now one of 5 undefeated teams.
I'm not worried about Kim Mulkey.
No, never.
Everybody else
But,
needs to worry about Kim Mulkey. We had Bob Starkey on last night, who is somebody that Kim dragged out of, when you drag me back in, somebody that was in retirement but felt like somebody that she needed on staff. And obviously the way he was talking about Kim Mulkey, it's inevitable.
She's amazing. I mean,
that's what he said. She's a thermometer, not a thermostat, which is,
cool.
I thought, was a great way to put it, because she sets the temperature. Like, you know exactly what you get with Kim Mulkey, and everything she does has a point and a reason. And in a mistake, the way that she came in and was able to win immediately, and she's put the rest of the SEC on notice, it feels like.
That's very true.
So, like I said, the LSU just state of the program as a whole is in a great spot.
We sure are.
It's beautiful.
Oh.
She's crawfishing out the Mississippi State pot.
Yeah,
well, she had,
I'm still back.
You had a
Mississippi
tragedy.
State, they're about speaking of basketball, 87-53 last night versus Tennessee. I was like, just.
Didn't they get ran off the floor?
It was bad.
87-53 is getting run off. Getting run off.
Coach, I'm not playing. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, it was super disappointing and surprising. I mean, you go into the season undefeated for a while, and then now they go up against an SEC team, and it's like, here's who we are.
Yeah, this is who we are.
This is who we are.
Yeah, and that leads me. That's kind of where the state of the SEC basketball is. Kentucky is not.
No.
Is this your king?
It's not like Kentucky and everybody
else. Exactly.
But I think they're getting back
everybody.
to that. I really do.
No,
I feel like
Katie, I think everybody else is catching up.
Maybe.
And Kentucky's still up there, but it's everybody else is recruiting at the same level as them.
Totally.
Recruiting the same players. It's not just Kentucky.
But they looked good last night.
They did.
Looking better. Who did they beat before? LSU, Louisville?
Yeah, but Louisville is not good anymore.
Yeah.
Can you drop Brody the link? He just asked for it.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Right, so we'll go to break.
Take a quick break and be right back with Brody Miller.
Brought to you by
Go Chevrolet.
Jesus Christ.
What are we talking about?
I can only carry everybody for so long. My God, my mouth is so dry right now.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net, online and stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mikey Matuk from Mic'd Up. If you haven't already liked or subscribed to our show, we're live every Monday, Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. from our studio, and every Friday from 4:30 to 6 from Uncle Earl's. Come hang out with the boys, me, Jay Mitch, Jackie Boy, Lloyd. Lloyd has his shenanigans up in the corner. Come hang out with us again. Like and subscribe. We're live Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Fridays from Uncle Earl's from 4:30 to 6. Come hang out with us. We appreciate all the love. See you on the show.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. We got Brody.
Yes, we do have Brody.
All right.
Brody Miller
The
is in the
Athletic.
building from The Athletic. I don't know what he's going to write about next, but
Maybe he'll tell us.
he was... Brody, were you in Orlando? Did you make the trip?
I was in Orlando, yeah.
Get any Cheez-Its?
I almost tried not to eat Cheez-Its out of principle, and then I got hungry mid-game, and I did eat Cheez-Its.
Were they just available? Oh, I'd imagine they were in the
did they
press
just
box.
pass Cheez-Its out
Oh, they
everywhere?
were everywhere. Each little like dining table area like had like a stack of 12, and then there's like an engraved citrus bowl box that we each get that's like has like citrus bowl and like kind of like a holographic thing on the front. And I'm like, is this a collectible Cheez-It box? I didn't save it, but maybe I should
And
have.
like it legit had Cheez-Its inside? Like it was just a
Yeah,
box
yeah.
of Cheez-Its?
Do you have it
I
with you
believe
right
so.
now?
Should have saved
No, you
it.
didn't.
I didn't bring it home.
Oh,
yeah.
Brody!
No.
I didn't want to pack that on an airplane. Like,
Oh, God, I've packed way worse.
Way worse than
it didn't feel worth it, is more the point.
But I feel like that, like, before we get into the actual game, it did feel like more of a, like the Cheez-It Bowl, they put on a production,
They did.
whether it be the man in the Cheez-It costume, the bed, like, it felt more of like they went kind of Duke's Mayo Bowl to where it was, you kind of caught some quality of the game to where it was more of a, there's production value to it, you know? It felt like they tried
It's
to really
true.
brand it.
It's true, and I want to say, and I could be wrong on this, I want to say the Cheez-It Bowl was the first to do, like, the food bath. Like, they were even before Mayo of, like, we're dumping Cheez-Its on the coach, but that's obviously not as crazy as Mayo. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think these bowls are realizing, like, you got to just kind of amp it up. But why not also get some citrus involved, you know? Like, squirt citrus in the loser's eye. I don't know. But I think we
sounds
make
terrible.
cocktails. I don't know.
that's
A little mimosa, get the game going.
But I guess they're not sponsored by Citrus. They're, you know, so Citrus is just the name. But still, let's get everything involved. Let's make a Citrus Cheez-It like mixture. I don't know.
I like it.
But okay, hey, I agree, and obviously LSU kind of got out of pocket a little bit. It felt like with the celebration, you saw Brian Kelly be able to eat some Cheez-Its off the ground. Joe Fuchsia dove into a pile of Cheez-Its.
That was my highlight.
It was unbelievable.
The Cheez-It Angel. I didn't see it till like last night. And
Me
I'm like,
either.
that is incredible.
But
Well, isn't Brian Kelly apologizing for that?
yeah,
for
then
some
that's what I
reason?
was getting to get into. Before we get into like the obviously LSU took him behind the woodshed, and it was a just 63-7. Like you saw the best version that you could have hoped for LSU football. What was your takeaways from the game?
Yeah, to your point, like it was one of those things where you were expected to go do some variation of that, so you don't want to overreact. But it was impressive to be able to do it the way they did it. I think I was more taken aback by the defense, kind of, the 3-3-5 scheme, which I'm not saying it's what they're going to be, but they were just kind of flying around everywhere, regardless of what Purdue's personnel was. Like Purdue tried to attack you on the perimeter with like some of those passes outs wide, stuff like that, and they swarmed it. Every time a ball was in the backfield, there were like 2 DBs and a linebacker there for a tackle for loss. They were just kind of everywhere. So credit where it's due. I think the defense looked really good, and like I think that's my main takeaway. I almost wonder if that 3-3-5, like considering you're probably not going to have like an Ojulari level edge rusher next year, and you want to get the most out of Perkins, like I almost wonder if like a 3-3-5 is not a terrible idea to like implement a little bit more next year, but that's ahead of the time. But yeah, that jumped out. And then obviously I think the way Nussmeier and Daniels rotated was just definitely like, okay, this is doable, because both guys do really bring something.
And that's what I wanted to get to next is obviously the big conversation in the offseason is going to be the quarterback play. Whenever you see him kind of implement, Brian Kelly, implement both, he's done this in the past tenure at Notre Dame where he's not afraid to like almost make pitching changes. It feels like it's a little bit of a baseball lineup where he's like, I'm not afraid to bring somebody in relief. And he comes out and says he names Jay Daniels the starter after the game, which it feels like Garrett Nussmeier is almost, he has to quell him a little bit because of all the rumors and how well he's played in limited action. But he comes out and says that all 3 quarterbacks are expected to remain on the 2023 roster. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's wrestling between these two things of like Brian Kelly's not lying. Like I do believe there's not really a quarterback competition. I do believe Jaden Daniels will be the starter, to open next season. I very much do believe that. And it is worth like remembering, even though yes, it's a bowl and they want to get to 10 wins. This doesn't mean that much. And what I mean by that is, to some extent, they are using this as a development game, so it's like, why not give Garrett Nussmeier time in there? So it's like, we shouldn't view it too literally as like, oh, they're rotating quarterbacks. But yeah, and to your question of do I think all 3 will actually be there, everything I've been told is that Garrett Nussmeier plans to stay, obviously, but the staff is very much aware of the fact that could change because they're also understanding that he does have a high stock, that he is, let's be real, already getting phone calls, and he could go. So it's like they're aware he might not be there in a few months, but everything that he has indicated to them is that he wants to be there. Like he thinks he's the best guy. He thinks he can go win a competition. And also, like, this part gets left out a lot. Garrett Nussmeier loves being at LSU. Like, he actually really, really likes it and doesn't want to leave. So I would be shocked if he's gone before spring. Would I be shocked if he's gone after spring? Of course not. But I also think he's the son of a coach. I think he kind of gets it. And, I think that helps the case. And also, I think the last point I'll say is I do think that they're open to maybe letting both guys play some because he's done in the past. And I think they're good enough friends, all that it could work. So, yeah, I do believe all 3 quarterbacks will still be there for spring. And I do think Jane Daniels will be QB1. I just think there will be a competition in some way.
Brody, there's a question in the chat. Spectrum Wellcare asks Brody, is Demario Tolan still on the team?
Oh.
He was not at the bowl game.
He was not. I don't have a great answer for you there. All indications I have are that he is, and that he is, still... Like, he's definitely not in the portal or anything like that. I can tell you that. So I think there's obviously always a chance that he just wasn't available for the game, that he got hurt. I don't want to speculate too much. But, yes, he was not at the game, but he also is not in the portal or anything like that as of now. So take that as you will. But it's a good question. I'll look into it.
And I'm going to pivot back to quarterback play, obviously, because this is going to be obviously something that we talk about a lot going into the offseason. You saw how Brian Kelly was able to manage what happened last year with bringing in Moss Brennan from, I guess you could call it, he went to the portal. I don't know how much leverage he had or what was like what his options were. It feels like Nussmeier has more of a shot. How much is he trying to run it back in terms of his strategy of I'm gonna get all 3 to stay, and then when it comes to spring, do you think he's planning on somebody transferring, or do you think he actually has a legitimate shot of keeping all 3 in the boat whenever it comes fall?
I think he's fully prepared for the reality that one might transfer, and if that's true, he's still got 3 quarterbacks in that room because Ricky Collins is coming. So it's like I think he is prepared for that reality, but I do think it is also something that they do plan to have all 3. I think they do hope that because of everything we said. Like, 1, Nussmeier thinks he can win this.
Right.
2, these guys are friends and they like being there, and I don't think Garrett Nussmeier is a kid who's just like, I'm in a rush to go. But it is tough. Like, it's tough to be like, I'm going to sit my 3rd year in college football when I know I think we all can safely agree he can start at a Power 5 school right now. Like, that's hard. That is just human nature. That's tough. But yes, I do think if I had to like put money on something right now, I'd put the odds at like minus 120 or something that like Garrett Nussmeier really might be here in September. I don't think that's that crazy because of all those reasons we mentioned. But obviously, reality is he could go.
Go ahead.
Brody, who were you most impressed with in the bowl game? Besides the league neighbors.
I was going to say, I'm like, guys, he looked like he's going to be the next
my neighbor?
big thing. Nice. Well, okay, I'll say Savion Jones just because, I mean, Greg Brooks also, but we know what Greg Brooks is. Savion Jones, I think, is a good one just because he is going to be in an opportunity to start next year, and he's not somebody we've had a chance to see all the time. And now it's like, LSU is in a decent position on the D-line because they have already brought in multiple guys for depth there, and that is going to help. So now all of a sudden that Ali Gay DN spot, Savion Jones looks good enough to start there. But 2, adding in Paris Shand, it's like Shand also has the upside to start, and you have a nice little DN group there that you can trust. But yeah, Savion Jones, man, his stats weren't like holy crap great, but he was creating pressure pretty often. He was getting in people's faces. He just has like a length mixed with a strength to him that's really impressive. So I'll go with that. But man, Greg Brooks, like I stand by, that is like the sneaky most important thing that's happened this offseason is him coming back.
Yes.
Because you are going to have another like makeshift cornerback room this year. And having him, 1, he's one of the main leaders on the team. Like you talked to any coach, like that was one of the most important additions they made character-wise. But 2, like he can play corner, nickel, and safety. And when you are going to have youth at corner, like that's going to be essential. And that guy can fly around. He's in the box. He's out of the box. He's such an important player. And he looks so good Monday. So, yeah, I think those are my 2.
Are you surprised to see that he actually did announce that he was coming back? Because I think if you're an LSU fan, you were like hoping he obviously didn't come out on senior night. You saw – it felt like him and Joe Fuchsia were like a tandem deal, and Fuchsia obviously walks on senior night. He could have come back with the COVID year, and you see Greg Brooks announce that he's coming back to LSU. Were you surprised to see that?
I was definitely. I mean, I'll preface with I think we're all like with the COVID year thing. Like it is just officially
I have no idea what
impossible.
eligibility is anymore.
No, I look forward to the day that like no one left was in 2020, so we can try to be better at this. But like, yeah. So I'm almost like I don't cover people leaving the same way I used to, or like who's gonna stay because I don't even fully know. Like it's like this. He's a 4-year SEC starter. Like I didn't think he'd be back. Like, but I knew he could, but I just didn't think he would. So that was a surprise because it's like, what more do you have to prove? But on the other end of that, I think there's an element of like, hey, if you know your stock isn't like first or second round guy, you just love college football and you want to go do something in your home state. So it's not shocking in the sense of him because that's kind of who he is. But yeah, I mean, it's surprising. You're a 4-year SEC starter. I did not see that coming.
And you talk about people coming back, and obviously there was some news that broke over before the game with Kayshawn Boutte, wherever he was out, then back, and then out again. Is there anything on the front? Like, obviously, I don't want to put you in a bad spot to where you have to answer some sort of those questions. But what was, I guess the better question is, what was kind of the vibe around the team whenever he wasn't on the trip? Was it kind of like, this seemed like inevitable, or it was a kind of play it by ear type moment?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I understand the question. And I'll just say, like, I think, the Athletic as a whole, we're kind of just in the stance of we're not going to report on things that are basically rumors as of now. But LSU has, released, basically given their own statement saying that, no coaches, they're coming out strong, saying no coaches were involved in anything of the sort. They are coming out strong, saying Cortez Hankton and, J.R. Belton are going to be on staff next year. Like, so they're taking that stance. That's kind of all I have on that front. With Kayshawn, I think it is just a tricky situation where
just bizarre.
It's just a bizarre situation. I mean, I think we all can kind of read between the lines a little bit on a lot of that. I guess it's not surprising just because of the whole last year with Kayshawn Boutte. I mean, it has just been a roller coaster in a lot of ways. And yeah, it's a tough loss, but also something where, I don't think Kayshawn Boutte falls in the bad kid camp or anything like that. Like, he's not like some massive problem, but I do think he's the kind of, some of his behaviors, maybe not what Brian Kelly wants in his program, in terms of just having things that are headlines and things that we're talking about.
And you might have seen Brian Kelly, you might have seen Brian Kelly kind of flex a little bit with what he did with Malik Neighbors, having him run for a touchdown, throw for a touchdown, and catch a touchdown. Like, he was like, look, I think we're going to be fine in the wide receiver room. But
the way he even said after the game, like, it's his opportunity now, and like, he made a statement, like, he clearly was putting out there, like, see guys, like, Malik Neighbors. And by the way, I think I wrote this after the game, like, every coach, and Jordy and I talk about this all the time too, and obviously all you guys, like, leading up to the whole season, we just all kept hearing, like, Malik Neighbors might actually be the best receiver in that room. Like, that was such a consistent thing coaches and people and staffers would say. So I think it is, I think there's a little bit of, like, see, all you guys been asking me about Kayshawn for all this time. So all anyone wants to talk about, see, Malik Neighbors is a star. Do you find, and it's just a little bit of like a see, I told you, I think, in how Brian Kelly handled it.
He reminds me so much of Jarvis, but he's got a little bit more juice that you saw. Like, whenever he took that thing 70 to the house, like, I don't know if Jarvis had that get up and go, but he's so consistent. And to see Malik Neighbors be able to come back,
because it's like Malik Neighbors doesn't have like a certain trait that's like, oh, this guy is obviously amazing. He's kind of like this weird, like, he is super fast. He is super great at like these acrobatic catches, but it's a little bit of like, this is just like a gritty football player who like knows how to just make stuff happen. There is some element of that, and I think that's a really good comp with Jarvis. Like, Jarvis with maybe more burst. That's not a bad comp. I like that.
Brody, we just talked about Greg Brooks being like a surprise coming back. How do you feel about John Emery's draft status or coming back? Where is he leaning these days, or do you have any news on that?
For sure, no news, but it is going to be a fascinating one, right? Because it's like, I don't think he has much stock on what he's shown, but at the same time, like, sometimes you get to that point in the draft where it's like, it's not what you've shown. It's like, hey, in the 4th round, we know this guy has special talent. Like, why not take this higher than his like play would necessarily suggest? And that guy's been through a lot here, man. Like, probably lost a few years on his life here at LSU. So, like, maybe he wants to – maybe, like, you will never blame him for being like, I just need to go try and figure this out. Like, I don't know if I want to spend year 5 at LSU. I'm never going to begrudge a guy for that. Wait, would it be year 6? 19, 20? Yeah.
See, COVID.
No, be year 5. Okay, jeez, yeah. See.
And Todd Harris is coming back. Yep.
Don't even. Todd Harris was like a redshirt sophomore when I got here. Like, it's wild. But so I think John Emery's going to be a fascinating one because it's like not a guarantee he's RB1, and I don't know. I'm not really answering your question at all, but I will be really fascinated to watch.
And to continue on the running back front, do you think that that's maybe a reason why you saw so much? I don't want to say so much, but you saw Derek Davis. Whether he was in the portal, now he's out the portal. Well, I don't know if he's still in or out, but he's able to get some touches at the running. Yeah, but he's able to get some touches at the running back front, and it seems like maybe LSU is trying to put a contingency plan together where you see Armani Goodwin's hurt, Williams has surgery. Like, they're trying to find some sort of consistency at the running back position. You bring in 2 freshmen. So does Derek Davis kind of find himself at, like, almost with a seat at the table?
It's possible. First off, forgive me if you can't tell. I have a wild hair over here that
I saw you going for that. Yeah,
yeah. It's just all over the place. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah. So Derek Davis is still in the portal, and I do think that one fell more in the camp of LSU being like, there's probably just a healthy, like, unantagonistic conversation of, hey, you probably want to prove yourself to teams, and LSU needs more running back, like people in the room for the bowl game. But why not have a best of both worlds thing, and you kind of decide what you want to do? I think that's probably more where that falls into. I think Shane Beamer also talked about like guys in the portal wanting to play, and he's like, absolutely. So I think that's more there. But LSU absolutely would like to keep him. I mean, we saw the way Brian Kelly talked about him, and I want to say November. Like they really like what he can be as a running back, and he did show it. It's tough because LSU is in good shape at running back, right? It's like this year was so strange because so many guys were always hurt that you had multiple weeks where there were only 2, and that's not good. But on the other hand, like if you are making a depth chart going into next year, even if Emery's hypothetically gone, like Josh Williams is a no-brainer starting running back. Armani Goodwin is also a no-brainer 1 or 2 running back. And then you have the 2 true freshmen coming in and all that. So it's like you're not hurting there, but yeah, I think you would really like Derek Davis because Derek Davis brings some. I mean, that guy's got some.
He's got a little juice.
He got some juice,
man.
He runs like a safety.
He really does run like a safety. So yeah, I think they would love to bring him back, but as of now, I think he's still in the portal and could very well leave.
Brody, someone in our chat has a question about Seven Banks. I was wondering about him too. They want to know, is he healthy enough to lock down a corner spot?
Yeah, so that's obviously going to be something to keep following. He is back next year, and he is somebody who it's like because of the way things ended, and like we all haven't really asked about it because we're all asking about like the actual team every week. But yes, that is something where I believe he is going to be on the roster, and if healthy, yes. And you would assume a year on from what everything that's happened, he is healthy and he should be. I believe he's making good progress and all of that. He should be in that competition where like it's like you just can't bank on it because of just how clear the injury problems are in so many different parts of his body, and just like you can't be confident there. But yeah, if he's healthy, that's a really comforting thing to have. Like, hey, you want to rely on some of these youth pieces, but at the same time, Denver Harris and him are 2 really good talented guys who've played Power 5 football. That would be a huge boost, and even if he doesn't, it just helps to have him in the rotation. So yeah, but all indications are he should be on that roster and competing for a spot. You just can't bank on his health. Bank. Nailed it.
I was going to let that slide, dude.
Brody, this might be more of a Shea Dixon question, but I'm going to ask you. You might be inside the transfer portal.
I'll do a Shea impression.
Shea is. Ohio State DB Kylan Johnson entered the transfer portal yesterday. He played at DeSmet High School, where Robert Steeples and Makai Wingo came from. So people are wondering if LSU is going to pursue him in the near future.
Should I do a Shea impression? Like, yeah, man. Like, no, I don't really have any Shea. It's a good question.
Brody the power.
I really just did, yeah, man. Yeah. But no, I don't have any information there. That is probably a bit more of a Shea question. But at the same time, I absolutely do know they would like to add another corner. And I do know that Robert Steeples, we have seen at least on 3 different players, very much uses DeSmet connections to pursue people. So I will not pretend I have information on him specifically. I can tell you for people in the program, they would like to add another corner. So at least there's some reporting in that answer, right? But yeah, I don't have anything firm on him specifically.
Is that anything? Anybody else have a question?
You got any questions?
Brody.
I like
Brody?
you guys hosting. You're killing it. I love it.
We don't like the compliments. We don't want the pats on the head, dude. I'm just over here. I just got here.
Thanks for joining us, Brody. That's
Boyd
Brody.
didn't even want to sit in the chair.
No, I was on the other side. I wanted to respect a man that's on his honeymoon. Like, obviously, he's got his whole ass
He
out.
put you in that chair. You can't come at him.
Exactly.
You can't be like, this is my chair now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hot seat.
Thank you, Brody, for joining us. Y'all
Thanks,
can find
guys.
Brody at Brody A. Miller on Twitter, covering LSU for The Athletic. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
He's the best. Brody Miller.
Thank you. That was brought to you by Katie's Restaurant and also Francesca by Katie's in Mid-City, New Orleans, a neighborhood restaurant for the entire city. You can find them on Iberville Street. The food is fantastic. You can feed your whole family. Picky eaters. I sent one of my friends there last week. The whole family went there for lunch. Loved it. They were kind of weird until they saw that it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and they're like, all right, we'll give it a chance.
Oh, my goodness.
And we love Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
They gave it a chance.
Yeah.
They freaking loved it. They were texting me about it the whole time.
70.
It was great. So check out Katie's 3701 Iberville in historic Mid-City next time you're in New Orleans, and we'll be right back with your voicemails and call-ins.
Yes, call in. We'll do some questions at 8. Coming up now. We'll go to break, and then we'll come back with your call-ins, your questions, and your voicemails. Thank you for participating. Driven and powered every day by
Go Chevrolet.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
I remember telling them, hey, listen, my job here is to make sure that we bring, big time football to a small town environment, right? And so you see on movies sometimes about the way a town reacts to the football program and what it means to everybody, and that was the hopes and dreams that I had for the place. And so our kids take a distinct responsibility in wearing that Z on their helmet. It means a lot to them. And then on the flip side of that, our community does a tremendous job of supporting our program, supporting the athletic department, supporting our school as a whole. And there's really a great relationship there that's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Thank you for the access, man. Looking forward to tonight. We'll talk soon.
Coach, wait, before you go, fix your hair again one more time.
Look at him.
Let's go.
Yes. Look at him.
What do you think about that?
Game day,
what do you
baby.
think about that?
Game day. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Great to see you. Thank you.
You too, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is. There he is. My guy. David Brewerton checking in. What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's going to be in a drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m. wherever you have internet access.
Oh, my guy, the host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordy.
Always. There he is. Cole Kubelik, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot and the SEC is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro. Make
All right.
Welcome back.
There were a lot of games
back.
on Monday, but we never touched on Tulane. Like, that was
Unbelievable.
wild.
Shout
right?
out to Tulane.
I mean, that shout out to freaking number 14 Tulane and scoring 16 points in the final 4 minutes, defeating number 8 USC 46-45.
It made us stick around for the watch party. We're like, damn, I guess I'm gonna watch this Tulane game because
it was too good.
Well, they finished this season 12-2, and do y'all know their record last year?
1-10.
2-10.
Yeah, 2-10. It was the best turnaround ever.
Shout out Willie Fritz.
In FBS history, the best turnaround ever. I mean, how shocked was USC?
I mean,
everyone was shocked, but how shocked was USC?
Well, USC made their own bed. Excuse me.
No,
they made their own what?
They made their own bed because the returner from USC, there was a kick at the end of the game, kickoff, and the ball was obviously going out of bounds. He attempted to return it. It goes off his shoulder pads, goes out of bounds at the 1 yard line. Next play,
Tulane gets a safety.
Yep.
They're right back in it, and it's just from there, Tulane just took over.
It was wild, was it not?
And now
I love it though.
We take your questions. Call in, have a take, don't suck. 225-229-7741. Feel free to call us. This is a safe space. Kind of.
A safe space.
Feel free to call in, have your takes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, get your New Year's stories in. Obviously, we were at a wedding, and Jordy
This man tried to kill me.
What are you gonna say? Were we at a wedding or were we at a party?
Yeah, we were. I think so. And then we were at a party, Coach. And now you see.
Where's our little photo? Could we stick that up there? This kind of sums up our night.
That was our night.
Where's the one where I was making out with David?
Oh, I took it.
Oh. Did what with it?
Don't worry about it. It's a little wet.
I wouldn't say making out, right?
Don't get jealous. You get him every night. I had him one night.
That's true.
But obviously we had a hell of a time over the weekend. Jordy is still on what do you call it? I guess his honeymoon.
That's what you call it.
Yeah, he's on social. If you want to see that, it's out there. But feel free, call in, have a take, don't suck. If not, we will continue on.
Let me also shout out Mississippi State, who also played Monday. What?
Dude, we haven't mentioned it's Ron's birthday.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, shout
I
out
did
to
mention
Ron.
it in the text, but yes, happy 21st birthday, Ron.
The Don
going. They're going to Houston this weekend, so the party keeps on.
There you go.
For Stewie and Ron. I guess I'm not all the way in the club.
The New Year's party just keeps going. It's more of like a rollover from like graduation.
Yeah, you've been on one. This man said he was going to quit drinking for 2023, and he hadn't stopped yet.
Everyone says
Actually,
that.
I have not drank in 2020. Oh shit! Damn, I have.
Yeah, you did. We were up past midnight, brother.
Way past midnight, Coach.
Then this man snored his whole life.
I was in the territory of like, oh shit, mom's gonna kill me when I get home. Like,
Yeah.
like
Am I in trouble?
That's all time. Like, am I in trouble? Like, should I come home?
Yeah, that's what happens. I guess the anxiety kicks in around Tuesday for me after we had, we tied one on.
Can I finish my shout out to
Sure,
Mississippi
go ahead
State
for
from the
Mississippi
bowl
State.
game? I mean,
I
I was
guess.
just trying to do that.
Like, gives a shit.
Lloyd, that's so ugly.
No, actually, I care.
They played for Mike Leach, and that was
I thought you were
really
talking about
amazing
basketball.
Game. No, I'm talking about the bowl game where they beat Illinois 19-10.
They fly the flag.
All for the Pirate. I really, really am kicking myself for not being at that game. David tried to get me to go. He offered to take me to it, and I said no. I need to stay here since Jordy's gone and don't want to leave Lloyd hanging. But man, I really wish I would have been there, honestly. And that was a really cool moment.
What's the quarterback's name? Will Rogers?
Will Rogers.
To see him and his emotion on the sideline was like, it was very palpable to see how much that like weighed heavy on their mind of if you're a gambler, I hate to put it in that perspective, but we're winning one for Coach today. Like that was the easiest bet of all time, and then you get the worst bad beat ever. But that's the perfect, like, almost fitting end to a Mike Leach game.
That was how he would have done it.
That's exactly how he would want to have it.
It's 13-10, but I got y'all on a touchdown.
Did y'all watch that? Did y'all watch that?
Oh, my God.
Play?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was like, what was happening?
Marcus Banks is actually a former LSU commit.
Oh.
Yep.
But shout out to Mississippi State. I thought you were talking about basketball. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I don't want to be ugly because I love Mike Leach. We obviously had Mason Smith, not Mason, but Mason Smith, who worked with him at Mississippi State, and he was able to tell some like just all-time stories of being around Mike Leach and being in the building where he's used to working. He worked at LSU where it was get there at 5 a.m. And then
grind it out.
Right, and then he works for Mike Leach previous to that, where it's like, oh, we don't start till like 11.
Right.
Like whenever y'all want to get to the building, y'all can get to the building.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a funny
I'm
juxtaposition.
walking here, so-
Yeah, like that man is a legend, and I hate that it happens like this, where people don't get their flowers until it's too late that they can't even hear him. But Mike Leach is also the same person that said, I don't care. Like, they asked about what his obituary is going to be. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm dead.
Exactly.
And so that's the perfect Mike Leach comp. And I was just happy to be able to see them get a win because
Same. And I love that everyone wore the sticker on the back of their
That was
helmets
awesome.
and all
Yes,
of college
like
football.
college football was just Mike Leach
I
out
love
this
that.
weekend.
Even
and I
Ole
love
Miss
it.
did it.
I mean, LSU's throwing trick plays. You don't ever see LSU run trick plays.
If
That was
I-
for Mike Leach.
You think so? A little Philly special
Maybe
for Mike
he was there
Leach?
with every team in his own little way.
Philly special coach.
And that's what makes me think that when you talk about, obviously, Ole Miss is something that's.
We got
I
a
thought
call
you were going to
on
bring
the
up
Oh,
theirs.
get him
Yeah,
on.
get him on.
Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, morning, everybody. This is Robert calling from Atlanta, Georgia. How are you?
Hey, Robert.
Good. How are you? Just doing so aggressive.
Oh. Well, you know, early mornings, got a lot done already, so I get to listen to y'all for a little mental break, and it's a good way to start the day.
Thank you.
So I had several things in my head I wanted to ask, but I'm going to focus on one question because it's a next year thing. Considering how this year ended, considering the games that we won, the games that we lost, and who is returning, what games do y'all actually think we are, I guess, expected to lose next year? Because they never give you a perfect record in the odds. There's always at least one game you're expected to lose. And I frankly don't expect us to lose against Bama next year because we always play better in Tuscaloosa than Baton Rouge. So if you had to handicap it today, what games do you actually expect us to lose next year? And I'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Thank
Hey,
you.
appreciate it, man. That's what we do. We do it for the people.
Oh.
I'm looking at the LSU football schedule. Obviously, you would think that.
I mean,
Are you going to say Florida State?
God, no, but that's actually a great starting, like, it's a great jump off point. It's going to be a great measuring stick.
That game is going to be, like,
it's going to be interesting.
Magnified.
Yeah,
and
it really
is. Is it on a Sunday again?
That's the opener. So, yeah, I think it is, right?
If it's on a Sunday again, it'll be
in
last
Orlando,
year. Right? Yes, in the same field they played on. If Cheez-It does not have any marketing in that game, they are, like, not doing it right.
I know.
Because they both played in the Cheez-It Bowl, won the Cheez-It Bowl, so they better have the Cheez-It bed and the Cheesy Man set up ready.
That's true.
Bro, Jamar, I can't believe Jamar Kane got so mad.
He was hot.
About what?
About the whole team hopping in. I mean,
Yeah,
you knew
why
they were
was
getting in
that a
that
big
goddamn
deal?
bed. Like, we were begging for it the entire live stream. Like,
Yes.
somebody's going to get in that
Somebody has
thing.
to do it. As soon as Greg Brooks catches the pick, somebody was like,
We going to the bed?
the bed.
And then Jay Ward almost died down there because he got stuck
He was
under the
stuck.
cheese
I would have been
head.
so panicked under that Cheez-It
I
guy.
know.
Oh, my gosh.
It was probably so hot.
Yes,
And then he had
can you
shoulder
imagine?
pads on.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Outside.
I would have
but-
been kicking and screaming under that Cheez-It guy,
and,
like beating
and then
him.
the Cheez-It man pretended to die, and he got CPR'd on the bed.
I know, when they were doing CPR on the big square, I was like, isn't that his face, though? Like, what are they pushing on?
Dude, if Jordy, whenever he comes back, if he is the kingmaker, we have got to find out who that man is.
Oh, my God.
yeah,
and
we
get
need
him
to
on
know.
the show because I've never seen a mascot act such an ass
That
and
man
get
was
away
on-
with it.
That
bet we
man
can
was
find
on
out.
12.
He definitely worked at looked like one of those guys that worked at Disney,
Like,
where
he
it's
used to
like, oh, go Minnie, go Minnie.
Yeah, he used to spin the sign. Like,
Yes. He was fighting for his life, but he had the time and a half. So just the whole thing kind of Brian Kelly apologized for it. He was eating Cheez-Its. LSU was just showed their whole ass, and it was awesome to see because it felt like a culmination of everything that was going on around the program, and we're here to play football, and this is what you came to see.
Right.
And LSU could not have played better. But to get to his question,
I was about to say, okay,
when
back
you
to
think,
the question.
yeah, when you think about, I guess technically he's asking about LSU's over/under for the year that was set at.
I mean,
I'd
Georgia.
imagine
7.
Georgia.
it was 7.5
not on
going
the
into
schedule.
this
They're
year.
not playing Georgia.
No, you have Florida
It's
State,
Grambling.
Grambling, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn, Army, Alabama, Florida, Georgia State, and Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
I'm gonna say Florida State. Like, that's the scary game to me.
But if you set the over/under, I think it's probably going to be at 9 this year, as opposed to where it was at 7.5 going into the year. Obviously, you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of like nobody knew what to expect from LSU going into the year. And then you see Jaden Daniels added to the team. It felt like he kind of hit the ground running, literally, to where it was, hey, come in and just do your best to help us get a win.
Yeah.
And it feels like if you give him another year in the program, you can obviously, I feel like you would set this number at around 9. Like Florida State will be, from what you saw from them in the bowl game, and then you saw what LSU in the bowl game, this will be a talking point. Like whenever we get back into college football a little bit, that this will be a game that gets mentioned a ton because, like you said, you're going back to Orlando. You're running it back against Florida State, who had an excellent showing in the bowl game as well.
Probably the top 10 matchup.
But I think if the more you look at that game, I don't think it'll have as much weight maybe on it because both teams are expected to be so good. So if LSU comes out and loses the first game of the year, it's not going to feel like it did this year where it was
it's over.
You were hanging on every play because you didn't know where LSU was going to catch a win. Like you didn't know what they were going to look like. Now it feels like you have a top 10 matchup going in to Florida State, and you'll be able to wear that when you talk about the college football playoff, which is obviously the end goal for every team. Just get in that thing because you saw
TCU.
What TCU was able to do against Michigan. Michigan pops one for 75 first play of the game, and then it just turned into chaos. And TCU, they just get me to the party, get me to the dance, and let's see what happens. So if LSU is able to, obviously, like I said, that's the end goal. I don't think that the Florida State game, while it will be like viewed as a must-watch, I don't think it'll hurt you in the end if you drop one to Florida State, and inevitably everybody's going to ask about, like, Alabama feels like it's always
toss-up.
Like as soon as you look at the schedule, like, well, there's a loss, but
you look at Alabama as a new quarterback.
I don't even know who's going to be their quarterback.
No.
They lost a lot of receivers in the portal, which their receivers look good in the bowl game, but they're still like losing receivers. Like I'm sure Jermaine Burton's probably going to go to the draft. Like they're going to lose some people.
Aaron Anderson comes to LSU.
Aaron Anderson's at LSU. Like I mean, I guess they still have Danny Lewis and Shaz Preston.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they have some players. I mean, it's Alabama, but they still don't have the same team that they had this year with the projected number 1 pick as a quarterback.
And then you have to, like, obviously we talked about Mississippi State a little bit and Mike Leach. That game feels like it's not going to be the same matchup it usually it became, wherever you had to worry about Mike Leach every year. So I would put a win there if LSU's able to get out to a start. Obviously they moved the Arkansas game up, which is going to feel weird because that's used to be an
Why? I know. Why did they do that?
I don't know. I don't know why they flipped the schedule, but
so who's in that spot? Where of the normal Arkansas weekend?
Florida.
That's normally Thanksgiving, right?
Florida.
Is that where is it?
No, A&M's Thanksgiving now. But
that's right.
It's always Arkansas after Alabama.
That's right.
And now it's Florida after Alabama. And
Here?
Florida obviously loses their quarterback. You have, I mean, it's great for scheduling because you have Billy Napier coming back to Louisiana to face off in Tiger Stadium against maybe a job that he felt like he had a chance to get. That game is going to be on tilt.
He is going to be looking across the sideline like, I want that.
Yeah, I wish I was on the other side. But so
what about A&M? Are y'all worried about them at all?
No.
Really?
A&M's depleted. They have the most players in the portal.
Yeah. You just never know that.
And we're about to get Anthony Lucas.
KJ Jefferson's coming back for Arkansas.
I don't know. How long has he been at Arkansas?
That's what I feel like too. Like he's been there forever.
Like he's been at Arkansas the same amount of time like Todd Harris has been at LSU. Like,
so he must have gotten like extra eligibility, right?
I mean,
he was part of the COVID thing.
4 years of extra eligibility.
Yeah.
But I have no idea if he's gonna. I haven't seen anything if he's announced that he's going to the draft or not. But when you look through like the SEC, it kind of feels like LSU is in a spot where
dominate.
Yeah, you look at Mississippi State, that feels like a win. You look at Arkansas, that feels like a win. Ole Miss. Who knows who's going to be their quarterback? I hope they don't try to get Garrett Nussmeier because that feels like a perfect marriage.
KJ Jefferson is coming back.
KJ Jefferson's coming back, so that's one that you can circle. Missouri doesn't really feel like a problem. Auburn feels like they're just in disarray. The real, actually, Army sneaky game.
Like, because they're just, I mean.
You got to prepare for them differently.
Yeah, it's wing T offense. Nobody runs it.
Yeah.
It's just hard to prepare for, hard to even think about.
Yeah, but like I said, I would going through the schedule as I'm looking through it now. Like Georgia State actually is kind of a little hairy situation as well. They always play well or play hard, but it feels like that LSU is maybe we're on an accelerated timeline a little bit after
I see 10 wins. Coach.
Yeah, exactly. I think I do too. And if if you were able to expand the college football playoff next year, I would feel very confident in saying that you could put LSU in that spot, like wherever you want to see them. It doesn't matter, but it feels like LSU is probably circling 10 wins for next year. Whenever you get your starting quarterback back, for now your backup quarterback back, you get Greg Brooks back, you get Harold Pert, whole offensive line is back. Like LSU is in a great spot for what's going to happen next year. It's hard to find kind of a reason to doubt what could be a almost, like I said, accelerated timeline for LSU when everybody always circles like year 3 for an LSU coach. You saw Nick Saban do it, Les Miles do it, Ed Orgeron do it. That's when they all won their national championship. But where LSU stands right now, if you got the incumbent, Jaden Daniels coming back, who, for better or worse, whether the fan base likes it or not, he is most likely going to be your starting quarterback. And I feel very confident in what I saw with him and Malik Neighbors. They have a great, it feels like rapport with each other. If you can add a John Emery into the mix, you get Armani Goodwin back. All of these things, to me, link up to be at least 9 wins for LSU, and as soon as they put that team total out, I will take the over.
All right, let's
Future
reset.
Lloyd.
Shea Dixon is here. He's going to talk to us about some recruiting. As always, we're brought to you by R&B Builders. That's rmb-builders.com. You can
Instagram's
build
on
with
fire.
them. Instagram is on fire. You can build. You can check out their website and see what they have for sale. Or you can remodel with them. You can also contact Rhett Bourgeois directly, rhett@rmb-builders.com or 225-921-7062. They're our contractor. Make them yours. We'll be right back with Shea Dixon.
Shea Dixon, the recruiting hour.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
This is not what nature intended. This is a mistake. It is not that show. And
It is, but it's not.
You motherfucker. We just had a whole conversation about this.
Well, when I went to load it was in the presets. So I just...
You know how to edit it.
Yeah, but like it was just too beautiful. It was too good.
Dana Kraft says someone let Shea know his favorite catfish is here. It's one of y'all, isn't it?
No,
Ron.
it is not.
It's Ron on his phone over there
Yeah,
on his
right
birthday.
now. Shout out Ron, happy birthday. Obviously, we have Shea Dixon in the recruiting hour, where he will answer your recruiting questions. So get him into the chat.
We've got bigger fish to fry. Is Dana just trolling? Which one of y'all is it?
It's not me.
It's not me.
Ron's
awful quiet over there.
I'm in control of the tubes over here. I can't do too much.
I fixed the lower third. You're welcome. Sorry about that. One more flag to
What was the main thing y'all talked about in the opening hour?
I couldn't tell
Tulane?
you, dude. I was just sprinting through it.
We talked about Tulane. We talked about a couple of things.
Are you happy for Tulane?
Yeah, I'm very happy for
So
Tulane.
there's some haters out there.
I mean,
Why?
I'd never hate on
And
Tulane.
I'm asking you, like, there's some Tulane, like,
Bro, if you can beat USC the way that they did, that's
no. I mean, like LSU fans.
Even with Caleb
you know,
Williams,
that just don't like Tulane.
Even with
I think
Caleb
that might
Williams.
be an older generation.
Yeah, what have you? Yeah, what we're battling for the Tiger Rag again? Like Jesus Christ, it's been 30 years. Be happy for Tulane. They ain't stealing players from you. Like that was just awesome to see.
So you're not upset that LSU's not the highest ranked team in Louisiana
No,
year?
I don't care.
Well, now I am. I didn't realize that.
As long as it's
let's
not,
line it up right now.
As long as it's not UL, I'm good.
But that's what it feels like. They want smoke with somebody.
Is that because you're from the area?
No, because UL fans like tried to make it seem like they were better than LSU the last couple of years, which their record said they were. But I mean, if they lined it up, we all know what would happen.
Well, I saw I saw LSU fans being like, Tulane's acting like UCF did, and then we humbled them. Like UCF had won like 20-something straight games at that point. Like they were the lead. Like they did think they were hot.
The Natty.
They thought they deserved to be in the playoffs that year and all that. Tulane just went from they did a worst to first type situation.
Yeah, exactly. It was a hell of a run. Like I don't think it's anything that if you're an LSU fan, you're threatened by Tulane. Like.
No.
Go touch some grass. Like it's gonna
Go
be
eat some Cheez-Its.
Yeah, we got Harold Perkins and they don't. Like it's gonna be okay. But I just thought that was an awesome. Like for not only the state, but just to see somebody take down a brand in USC where it
Heisman winner.
That's the one that you should hate. Like if you have any hate in your heart, do you not remember the FUSC bumper stickers from 2004? Like,
right.
After that's the team that you should be mad about. Yeah. So to be able to see Tulane take down a Heisman-winning quarterback with Lincoln Riley, who was presumed to be almost LSU's head coach at some point, like
per sources,
Walker Howard.
It was awesome to see. Like that was a great win for Tulane. That's unbelievable. What a run! It's not something that I don't think they're gonna be consistently able to do it. But why would you not celebrate it?
I'm with you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boys.
New Year.
Missed you at the wedding.
Yeah.
I know. I was in Orlando for a freaking month or however long we were down there, a week, but. Thank
you
God,
were there forever.
Thank God Under Armour was there. There would have been nothing.
I was about to say, so you got a little double action.
A little double dip.
Week.
Yeah, I'll weigh in on that. So we don't get too far behind. Let me jump in here. I'm just trying to, at first, obviously, get past the catfish situation I've got going.
Ron, drop your cash tag in the chat. It is Ron's birthday. If y'all want to bless the man on his 21st, y'all know what he needs money for. We got to get that liquor. So he's going to Houston. Yeah, that I can help with.
John Bro asked Shea, do you think we can get Anthony Lucas out of the portal? Did y'all see this?
Yes.
Another A&M former 5-star
in the portal
from the big class is in the portal.
Jamar Cain recruit too,
because he's from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard LSU's reaching out. I've heard Bama's reaching out. Here's the swinger. Now let's also say this. Anthony Lucas was part of the group of guys that played the first 6 games and didn't.
Oh, these are my favorite guys.
You like
these
that?
Are the
you
squad.
like the mid-season All-Americans.
We got a guy.
Lloyd's heavy into the half
hateful
seasons.
8.
But I have heard. Let's hear y'all's reactions here when I say it. Watch out for Prime is what I heard.
Colorado. I mean, look, I'd rather him go to a school like Colorado
than
never
Bama.
have to see him again.
Sure.
Than Bama. Right.
How much of a factor is Prime going to be in these conversations whenever you
he's at least getting himself into top 5 discussions and all that.
It's not Colorado. It's obviously Dion, right? Like he steals. Who did he take from Nick Saban, his recruiting coordinator, right? Did you see this?
Was that the D-line coach?
Right, and it was their number 1 ranked recruiter. Obviously, Nick Saban is the power player there, but he goes in and swipes somebody from Alabama's staff, which is tough to do. You've only seen Georgia really do it, honestly, when they got the strength and conditioning coordinator. And you see that Prime is making money moves to be able to be a real player at Colorado when the Pac-12 feels like it's up for grabs because Utah got curb stomped.
Yes.
Which was unfortunate for my bank account.
Dude, Prime has taken... Oh, it doesn't break it down. Oh, it does. 19 high school kids, which is barely a top 40 class, but 16 transfers so far. They're on that Brian Kelly 2022 tip.
Yeah.
Take 16, 20 guys out the portal.
Louis.
Hey,
and they're coming. It's Louis.
And it's Louis.
Got both of his corners from
you see my
Jackson
son?
State.
That's your quarterback. Whoever was the quarterback.
The safety, he ain't here right
He ain't
now.
here.
So, I don't know. It's early with Anthony Lucas. He just officially went in Tuesday. So, we'll see. But that's another big-name D lineman.
It feels like
kick the tires and then do your research. And
it feels like a spot where LSU needs a little bit of depth to be added to it. Obviously, I think we're downplaying the fact that Mason Smith is coming back. That's if he was in the portal and was somebody you added.
I made good point because I made this not argument but counterpoint to is if Anthony Lucas is hitting the portal, he's going somewhere to want to start, right? He's not thinking man, I'd like to come in for my sophomore year and kind of develop, and then my money year I'll start. That wouldn't be. I wouldn't presume that would be what's on his mind. LSU has no one, you cannot convince me that you can get anyone out of the portal that will de-seat Mekhi Wingo.
Nope.
No.
And you're not putting Mason Smith on the bench.
Nope.
No.
So you've got 2 interior guys already who
and then you're big on
are
Deshaun
bona
Womack.
fide starters. Yeah, and he's an edge guy. But
Right.
and I get you can move guys around, like Mason or Wingo could play on an edge, and then a guy like Lucas, or you could move Lucas, but they will go after him. But I think that they're in a better spot, especially with taking that Justin Jefferson kid from West Virginia, Jalen Lee from Live Oak. Guillory, I thought, looked good in the bowl game. Fitzgerald West was getting some reps.
Yes, Fitz.
So we'll see. Ooh, Hunter Fournette brings up a great point. My catfish, Dana Kraft, he says, I don't know, I think Not Miss Taylor's probably his favorite, which is true.
I hope that, and we got Big Daddy Donk in the chat.
Talking
about adding a little seasoning.
Daddy Put a little spice on this debate.
Yes.
Scooby, this isn't an Ask Shea, he's just talking. Were y'all talking FSU earlier, or is he just rapping?
Yeah, we were talking
FSU is cleaning up in the portal.
They look like that from where they were a year ago and how this year went, where it felt like, you talk about Prime, it felt like they were in a position to almost hire him to be like their head coach. Like it seemed like that was a job he was angling for. And it went a total 180 where they are now.
That's a top 10 game
absolutely.
To open the year.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
It's it's going to be a standalone run it back.
It's Sunday night.
Oh.
Labor Day weekend.
Lord. I mean, we can't. Florida State can't be the team that has LSU's number.
You think there's still going to be Cheez-Its grinds all in the field?
Oh, that's what I said. I said if Cheez-It does not have marketing for this game already set up,
Get in. They put themselves in a spot.
Yeah, they got
the
to market it now.
Cheez-It Bowl is now one that is.
People want to go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that man that was in the costume is either getting a raise or he's getting drug tested today. Something happened because he tried to kill Jay Ward. But that becomes that
Cheez-It mascot had so much fun.
At
halftime, it popped out of a huge Cheez-It box and danced with fireworks. It was partying with Harold Perkins and the players. I mean,
was that something like I would imagine you were in the booth or whatever you'll watch the game in like the saddest section of all time? Was it something like, God damn, look at this man like going off right now?
He was having a blast.
I think he was,
and it was like noon.
Yeah,
he was hammered,
just still drunk from last night.
Cheesing it up. Bada Bing Bada Boom said if Shea lets that mullet grow, him and Lloyd would be brothers from another. I don't think I even have long hair right now, though.
Brother.
That would take a long.
Brother.
That would take a long time.
You can get. Hey, you got a great hairline. You can let it go.
That would take a long time to get that length.
So Shea.
Yes.
Florida State got the #1 cornerback.
The Virginia kid. Yeah.
Virginia kid.
Well, is he better than Denver Harris?
I don't think so.
No.
But there was another cornerback that entered his name into the transfer portal last night that has LSU ties.
Oh.
His name is J.K. Johnson.
I thought you were going to say Tackett
State.
Curtis. I thought this was a
joke. No, this is not a joke.
Con?
He's from Ohio State. He played at DeSmet High School, which is Robert Steeples'
okay.
home, and Makai Wingo. And I would say that LSU would be in the run, right?
You would have 100% if
he's a cornerback.
If he's a cornerback in Robert
Steeples'
room and played for him. All right, in 2021, he was a top 100 player.
Number 54, to be exact.
And the best player in the state of... So 2021 class would have been 2020 season. So Steeples would have been the coach of the high school when this kid was the highest ranked kid in the whole state. So no doubt he would know him well.
All right.
Not only is he on your squad, but he's the best player in Missouri. I don't know. Did he ever play?
Yeah, he started at Ohio State this season.
Oh, bro.
Started in all 13 games.
Why is he leaving?
I have no idea. Maybe Steeples made the call.
NIL, right? Like, don't you think that that's part of what happens in the portal now, where Ohio State feels like they probably have people next in line? You see Seven Banks leave, and I understand why he was never really able to get.
He's trying to come link up with Seven?
I think so. I mean, you gotta start putting these puzzle pieces together a little
That's
bit.
what this is all about.
It's all about the puzzles right in front of your eyes. You just look at it.
All right, so we're digging on that one. Good job, Stu.
Yeah, I was on it last night when he entered because I saw DeSmet, and I was like, well, this is a perfect marriage for LSU.
Okay. You got to dig on that back. We talked about that in the portal. That's how they got that Braden Swinson kid from Oregon, because Kane had already recruited him to Arizona State. So when he popped in, he was like, bruh.
We're boys already, right?
Let's run it back, all right? I already got your cell.
LSU is kind of that the way that they're using the portal and like the relationships that they've had like from the coaching staff that they've put together and the relationships that they have. It's very intriguing to see how a Jamar Kane is recruiting. Like when you talk about grabbing guys that he recruited at Arizona, right? Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State.
And then you see obviously the DeSmet High School with Steeples and what he was able to do as a head coach there, where they were terrible, and then
they were one of the best teams in the country.
The best teams in the country, and he still has ties to some of those players in the program. Makai Wingo being one. Like I feel like there's some actual
Mac Markway, right? He's a DeSmet kid. They just signed.
Yeah, Mac Markway is a DeSmet kid.
So we're putting
they
pieces.
Must have a hell of a hospital.
Limitless.
Oh God.
Limitless. Just.
Mac Markway
putting together
if Mac
LSU's
Markway
class
doesn't wear
out
knee
here.
pads whenever he comes here, then he's going to have a serious discussion with G-string, because those things need to be protected.
Let's see. Where are we at here? Hunter Picard asks, Shea, need my hat for signing up for the Bengal Tiger. Ooh. Okay, I'll tweet that link today, boys. Also, Zalance Hurd looked like a grown man amongst boys yesterday. Okay, so the Under Armour game was yesterday. Not really much happened.
Damn, do you remember when that used to be, LeonardFournette.com?
Yeah,
that used to be.
That used to be a game to really watch.
I know. Now it's like
University of.
They downplay it almost. Like it's not.
Everybody was getting reps. It was kind of whatever.
It's so watered down.
Did you feel like you had to watch it?
No.
No, I didn't watch it.
I tried to watch it.
I went and watched practice all week. I didn't watch the game.
Okay, that counts.
I mean, I read the box score after and got a feel for everybody doing about the same.
Toviano looked good.
Did he?
He looked good at corner.
He looked good in practice. But Hurd was the best offensive lineman there all week.
What you bring up, obviously, that's the Lance Hurd, an LSU commit.
Signee.
As in,
right.
It makes it feel even better.
It does.
Yes.
When you say it like that.
He's on the team. He obviously talked about, did he practice at left tackle or where did
the
they
whole
move him
week.
around?
I got this beautiful baby, and he's so big.
And boy, when he
so
gets his hands on you, it's over.
But what do you think that LSU does with, obviously, they have it feels like a stalwart left tackle.
Playing left tackle, coach.
Yeah, I'm playing left
tackle.
tackle.
And
so
then he makes that comment.
I asked him about that when I was down in Orlando, and I grabbed him for an interview after, and he's a super nice kid.
He got his hands
and
on
so
you.
when I bring up the Kelly thing, he's already kind of like, I know where this is going. He's like, yeah, I said that. It was kind of like, I didn't know he was going to say it again, but like, I'll play wherever. I love Will. It was I'm kind of joking, but
I play left tackle. Coach.
But I play left tackle. I would bet Emory Jones's more natural position is guard. He's obviously proving talented enough to play right tackle in the SEC. I could see Emory Jones moving inside and Hurd playing right tackle if Hurd is that ready. But then again, it took Hurd. Remember, he's not an early enrollee, so Will Campbell was. Will Campbell starts game 1. Emory Jones wasn't. Emory Jones starts,
game 3?
Tennessee.
3 games in, 4 games in. So, like, within a month of the season, you would like those really elite summer arrivals to be like, all right, we're putting them out there. And we saw this year, they rotate dudes. They're rotating Bradford and all them at guard during the season, like the whole year.
How did Sheldon Sampson look in Under Armour practice?
I didn't get to see much because the first day was a walkthrough. The second day, right when they went to one-on-ones, he tried to make a grab over his head and fell and kind of tweaked his groin. And then he just sort of sat out until the game, and I think he had a catch or a target in the game, whatever it was.
Is that going to be a...
He dressed out every day and was there. He just didn't go through drills and was just kind of
that's going to be a thing with him throughout kind of his whole tenure.
He played through injuries a lot at Catholic. Yeah. He didn't sit.
But I mean, I would think it's an Under Armour game.
I'm sure.
They were probably don't push it. It's no point. You're probably about to
There were a lot of kids out there who were like,
we're good.
Yeah. You know, if my hammy's acting up today, I'm not going to go out here full speed. So I wish we would have gotten to see more of him because I think he is. I will say this. He's the only dude out there who was a legit 6'4", outside of Nicholas Harbor, obviously, but only wide receiver. So he is a big kid, like Brian Thomas big type kid.
If he's able to stay healthy and get on the field, he's somebody that you can see contributing almost right away.
He'd have, good problem to have.
It's a great problem to
Start
have.
getting them boys reps young.
LSU was starting to shape up, Coach.
This is about to
the Lance Hurd.
It's starting to get scary.
Shelton Subson.
Dana's also proud that I read comments before the final 5 minutes, which I'm getting behind on, but that's okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Hurd to right tackle, Jones to right guard. What happens to Dellinger? Well, Dellinger started at left guard for the first time since his injury, and then Miles Frazier came in off the bench. I don't know. Rotate him.
Who do they?
And O-linemen are always getting hurt anyway.
Marlon Martinez started center.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Well, Charles Turner started, right? And then he got hurt, and then Martinez went in.
And that's what I was going to ask going forward. It's there.
Marlon Martinez look good.
Well, yeah, it's Purdue.
It's either Charles Turner's your center, Marlon Martinez is your center.
It's a good problem to have. Anthony Bradford
you could
returning.
put DJ Chester at center. He's actually been practicing at center some in the All-American Bowl at San Antonio right now practices. Or there's portals out in there's centers out in the portal.
Cincinnati centers in the portal.
Correct, Jake Renfro. And we talk about ties. Mike Denbrock was on that staff.
Was his coach.
Do you know anything about Anthony Bradford's returning or I wouldn't imagine he's going to the league. I mean, he played.
I would think he's back.
I thought he already announced that he was coming back.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm making sure. Just because you talk about a good problem to have. He was a mauler on your offensive line, so LSU was going to have, and this is what Brian Kelly does great, right? Like his ability to recruit the offensive line. I've always compared it to Ed O's ability to recruit the defensive line, to where you're going to have a rotation of guys, and like you said, there's always injuries. But if you can keep everybody kind of in the boat, you don't have the problem that you felt like you had at the beginning of this year. Yeah,
I also think Brian Kelly's the type, too, who when you're in it 30-plus years, you ain't playing favorite. Like, right. I know people are like, oh, he said Jaden Daniels is a starting quarterback right now. Yeah, they just played 14 games, and Jaden started in every one of them. I presume that he does think he's the starting quarterback.
If he's coming back, he's going to start.
But at no point, and he said, look, we'll give Garrett Nussmeier a chance to beat him out. At no point in Brian Kelly's Notre Dame career was he playing favorite. He was benching dudes who had multiple double-digit starts and putting other guys in. So
he was. That's what I was saying earlier in the show, is that he was playing almost like relief pitchers at quarterback. He was like, you can come in the fourth quarter and play. He does not play, like you said, he doesn't play any favorites. He is going to play whoever he thinks gives him the best chance to win at that time. And it's just, this is how you run a business almost.
Andrew Messina, absolutely. Andrew Messina asked Shea, will Colin Simmons and Perk play together at LSU? So, boys, so the Duncanville 5-star edge rusher, Colin Simmons, has been talking up LSU.
I mean, he loves it.
He loves it.
Like
it makes me very. I can't remember the last time that. I mean, certainly to Duncanville,
and
but into the DFW area and grabbed like
a player like
that
this.
dude, like a 5-star DM.
And it's kind of, it's almost like strange.
They've done it in Houston,
right?
A little different to do it in DFW.
But it's almost like strange how much love he has for LSU.
Like
because
he's tricking you,
right? Like
Stewie's.
I don't like to play this game because it's like
the dream school game.
Right? He's like, yeah, I love LSU. Like I can definitely like see myself playing there. But then you also look at it and he's from Dallas, and it's like,
well, and he's being recruited by
everybody.
everyone.
Right,
Wherever he wants to go to school is where he will go.
It's tough. I'll wait to see what the visits
Who
are
is this
like.
man?
Not Anthony Hill.
Colin Simmons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Google him. 5-star beast.
Player.
For next year, obviously, not right now. Cordell Music asked Shea, is Steeple going after the OSU cornerback? Shout out to Stewie on the J.K. Johnson tip.
I was on it
the
last
Smet
night.
High, Robert Steeple. So, yeah, we'll dig into that, but I would
almost bet.
I would be surprised if they weren't if this kid is actually very good.
Let's roll the dice.
Frank McCatry asked Kyron Borda, DT St. Aug, why no LSU offer? Can we get him late? I don't know why he's holding off till February. He doesn't have an offer, but unless it were like a preferred walk-on spot, I'd be a little surprised if they made a late move there.
Hashtag Ask Shea. Who are some names to look out for? For obviously, it feels like the late signing period doesn't have the same feel.
No.
But who are some names to watch?
I mean, unless they make moves on guys like that, Borda or other kids who held off and didn't sign, which so many kids signed in December, which is a good thing. Get your spot, But the big name's Nicholas Harbor. If he's so set on being a tight end, I'm not really sure I fancy LSU's chances all that much. They just signed 3 tight ends. They're bringing Mason Taylor back, and he was recruited by Jamar Kane. Like, they want him to be an edge. They want him to be an edge rusher. I watched him all week at practice. Freaky track athlete. He'll have to, he's not going to walk in day one at tight end and just be like that dude. A lot of body catches. And Pimpton's good, and McGohan's a good player too in a pass catching role. So, yeah.
But would you?
I'll be surprised. I'll say it this way: I'll not be surprised if they don't sign any more high school guys. They've signed 25. Like,
yeah.
Just you don't reach to reach. Not that Harbor fits into that category, but you're not just going to give out some late offer with numbers, having to be at 85 and just to do it.
Is he almost more of a project on either side of the ball?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think college coaches
will
say,
great project.
That's a great. I'll take it. I can mold that clay. Dana was in Orlando too. We're just getting trolled.
Yep.
Even on his birthday, he's trolling me.
Look, he's gone too.
Ron's out.
He's still in the chat.
Hashtag Ron5469. Happy New Year to Brian Burgess.
You're getting roasted for being so far behind in the chat, but this is how the recruiting hour works.
Then let's move fast. Hunter Fournette. Who's the best linebacker in the 23 class, and why is it Whit Weeks? Y'all have seen Whit Weeks has been tearing up practice over in San Antonio.
Whit Weeks is a player.
And he had well over 100 tackles. I've been telling you all that too. His brother looked not bad in the game this past weekend.
He didn't look.
That's a perfect game for him. He is Purdue. Like that's where that's his
honey hole.
That's right where he should be.
Sweet
but
spot right
I
there.
do have to.
I like Whit Weeks.
I know. I have to come back because I saw the play that he made that was on Twitter. He's
Hunter Fournette also said, "Don't worry about Anthony Lucas because we get the Kentucky DT, who's now, if you've been on the Bengal Tiger, you would know that.
Oh yeah,
it's cooking up there. They're about to get him down and
Big
let him check things out.
I love it. We'll take them all.
Yep, I'm behind because people are talking about Prime. That was like 30 minutes. Ask Shea, who's the best guy for LSU to get out of the portal? At this stage, you know what I'm intrigued by?
What's that?
If they get a running back. Like, what if John Emery goes pro?
Which is something that you had a little bit of a tidbit on.
Well, I mean, I've heard that was where he was leaning. So, Josh Williams, Armani Goodwin, who's been hurt in back-to-back years. Noah Cain.
You think Noah Cain?
I think Noah Cain's back, yeah. But really, I guess you'd start with John Emery being gone. So you'd have Goodwin, Noah Cain, Josh Williams, the 2 incoming freshmen, I don't know what Derek Davis is doing with his, I'm in the portal, but I'm still playing life.
But
do you go get some,
I think it's contingent on Derek Davis. What you saw from him in limited action was promising, and then
not bad.
And then you heard how, I guess BK talked about him. It was like, I wish we'd have moved him earlier. Like, he felt like he wanted to get him more reps at running back, and it wasn't, I'm not going to say a misevaluation, but it was, damn, I didn't know he was going to be this good at running back. So I think whether LSU takes somebody in the portal is contingent on what Derek Davis does.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's one spot I'm watching because I think they've addressed a lot of needs already, like corner, DT, D-end, edge. Tight end was a need for me. I don't know now if you have to have a portal guy, considering Mason Taylor put on a show.
Yeah, I mean,
he had the most catches in an LSU season after Thad Moss for a tight end.
I mean, name the next one.
Richard Dixon.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Richard Dixon was a hell of a player, don't get me wrong, but the tight end position is something that LSU has been not really focused on for quite a while, and then Mason Taylor comes in and you can see the change in scheme and how imperative he was to the offense. So, I mean, that's a hell of a freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got Pimpton. And you got
he looks good.
McNeeway.
John Bro asked Shea, do you think we kick the tires on LaRondo Johnson in the portal? He was a one-time LSU commit. I wouldn't think so, though.
Who is that?
I'm not even sure how much he was playing.
What position does he play?
DB.
Speaking of DBs, how about Quad?
He's been at Baylor and now he's leaving. Bro, how about that? That was awesome.
Awesome to see.
When was LaRondo Johnson a commit?
He was in the, 3 classes ago, maybe 20 class.
Is he a cornerback or a safety?
So yeah, 3 or 4 classes ago. Corner. He'd been at Baylor. Oh, he goes by Snacks. N-A-X-X.
X.
I think I might remember him.
Yeah. LSU had kind of parted ways, and then he ended up at Baylor. I wouldn't think so. Hunter Hall says,
scooped in?
Lucas DeBama, question mark. Is that what's going to happen here, boys? I don't know. Prime, LSU. He liked LSU a lot coming out. I will say, I'll admit that. We got some Desmond Ricks questions.
Oh. Stewie has his thoughts on Desmond Ricks.
I don't. No thoughts.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Grass just ain't always greener, Coach.
And unless you're... No, I'm not going to say it.
Jeff and Kenner said Shea has a good radio voice.
I know. What a compliment.
Is that a compliment? We're not on the radio.
Well, I mean, we are. People put it on YouTube.
I think he's saying that,
you have a good delivery.
No, that people don't want to look at me. I'd rather.
No, I think you actually have a good voice.
He's being nice.
Yeah.
All right. What's when I hold the mic up to my face?
Yeah, finally.
LSU or Tiger Den Sports Network. You see my boy in here?
Bro, how far back are you?
I'm
for real.
I'm far back. Shout out Tiger Den. Talking about did a great job filling positions of needs. Any other transfers are a bonus. I kind of agree there, for sure. I don't know where Colin Simmons will land. I'm not predicting any Duncanville kids. Yep, Charles County Matters says Harbor Train's done, and I'm speaking for someone who lives in the DMV. I'm with Charles. I don't think they're going to get Harbor.
Where do you think
I don't know, somewhere closer to home.
Maryland?
I think they have a chance.
Michigan.
That's not close to home. South Carolina?
Michigan is close. Close enough.
He's from Washington, D.C. It's not close.
Jeff, after complimenting my voice, now Jeff's like, where's Shea reading from? Where are these?
Exactly.
They're way up there on the chat, Jeff. Let's see. Hunter Hall asked about Keon Keeley and Rousseau to Harold Perkins tape. I don't know. They're a little different. I think Keon Keeley and Deshaun Womack are the two best edge rushers in the country. So
Keon Keeley's more of like a true edge.
And so I think him going to Bama. LSU getting Deshaun Womack. It's going to be a beast.
Injected in my veins.
In Google Earth?
Yeah. Let's see how far this Michigan trip is.
Brock TV, dream school equals kiss of death. Quite often true.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
If someone outside of Louisiana hits you with the dream school,
He's lying.
I know, why did
he's tricking you.
It's like a hot girl telling you you're cute too.
Though Toviano kind of said it was a dream school.
I know. That's well. They,
So I
they
guess
finally
he's
got one.
Trying to make up for it.
Love that hat.
Yep.
I wish you would have put
Hunter
the
asked
black
about the hat.
back
Hunter,
out.
I'll tweet about the hat today. The link.
Man.
Jeff. Yeah, I'm like
Shea has
30
been telling y'all about this hat for weeks, months,
Years.
years.
I do not have any injury updates on the guys who went down in the bowl game. The centers he's asking about.
Why was Demario Tolan?
I think they'll be fine, though.
Why was Demario Tolan not there?
Did he not play?
He didn't play at all.
I don't know. He's not in the portal.
I don't know.
And he played a lot to end the year.
I know.
Sounds like Weeks came up on
What do you think about that?
Lloyd's not having it.
I have to pivot off my Weeks take. I love the kid. I'm sorry.
Let's get it.
But his brother is a player.
Yep. Adrian Bailey says he lives in DFW and Simmons is a beast. Mac Daddy Donk, shout out.
Mac Daddy Donk.
Let's
That would be Cajun Smoker seasoning.
Bada Bing Bada Boom says Harbor 5-star athlete, not 5-star football player. That's completely fair right now. That is the reality of this. All right. I scroll to the bottom.
Google Earth in such a long time.
I mean, it's not that far.
It's pretty far, Coach.
Washington, D.C. to Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is probably like an hour
flight. I mean,
Cordell with Weeks equals Tackett Curtis. I think Weeks is more of a true coverage linebacker.
Tackett Curtis.
Tackett's a real downhill in the box type
oh
player.
my God.
Put him in space.
He's playing kickoff every play.
Let's see. BRW didn't our guy from the recruiting department, Corey Phillips from Prime at Colorado. Yes, that was early on. Then as Stewie said, he hired some Bama coaches. They've got a little staff out there. They do. They're just going to be portal. I don't know many. I don't know many high school like 5-stars are just going to go to Colorado. But I could definitely see them hitting a wave of transfers.
One of the running backs in the All-American game is
Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, he was the fastest.
I think he won the fastest man. He's like a little scat back.
Quick. Speed coach.
Yeah,
Cody Boudreaux, shout out.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they'll be able to do it this year in terms of like he has to hit obviously the late signees or like the February signing period if he wants to pop on some guys.
Right.
He's going to be a problem moving forward. Like, doesn't it feel like the Pac-12 was wide open? Like you saw Lincoln Riley's going to Lincoln Riley. Like you got bodied by Tulane.
Wait, Shea, did you see Carmani McClain's interview during the All-American game?
No, I thought he said he wasn't doing any stuff.
He did an interview during the All-American game, and it was very weird. Like, he didn't give away any information, but he also didn't really say anything. Like, he was just like, I'm committing on January 15th. I'm signing on the 15th. And they were like, is it going to be Miami? And he was like,
well, I'm not done being recruited yet.
Well, he was like, yeah. And then they were like, well, is it Miami and other schools? And he was like, yeah, but it's just Miami. And I was like, huh?
Zach Evans takes the cake for the weirdest recruitment of all time.
Play the interview because it was just like too
odd.
much. Like, it was like,
I don't think anybody knows what that kid's doing.
Yeah, but like that's what I was saying. Zach Evans probably the weirdest recruitment of all time in terms of just like, I don't know what's going on.
No, there was a kid, Keon Joyner, who was like
went to Florida State?
Yeah, like going to LSU, then going to Florida State, but then like never, like people were convinced he didn't even exist. Like,
then there's Demetrius Robinson. He carried his commitment like until the summertime. Went to Cal. Then he transferred from Cal, went somewhere else, then went to Georgia. And that's where he finished his career.
Cody Boudreaux gave us $5. Said morning, fam. So
shout out. We haven't seen Noel Boudreaux in a minute. Shout out, buddy. Happy New Year. Thank you for the money.
Then there's
we'll send it to Ron.
Brew McCoy was a weird one.
Mac Daddy Donkey. Yeah, that was a weird one. If we go running back, who in the portal would you go after? I don't know all. I'd have to go in there and look at them all and know what they're doing. Did the South Carolina kid ever go anywhere? I couldn't remember.
Is that Juice Wells?
There's a big name out of South Carolina. Florida State's running back entered, or one of them, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it'd have to be like a bona fide number one, no doubt.
Oh, I got this interview queued up for you.
Play it.
Recruitment, you committed to Miami, did not sign in the early signing period. Where are you at right now?
I'm still in the same spot with my recruitment, but I would be signing January 15th.
January 15th is when you're going to make your announcement.
Yes, sir.
What are the factors that are going to be playing into that, whether or not you stick with your verbal commitment?
Come in, play as a freshman, and whoever could develop me the best.
Who are the schools in the running?
Miami.
Anybody else?
Yeah, that's all.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you. Recruitment, you committed to Miami, did not sign in the early...
See?
Oh, see, that's Miami playing the NIL game where he's like, it almost feels a little bit like Desmond Ricks, wherever he says, I'm just ready to be a Tiger. I mean, ready to go play football.
Yeah.
Where it's like my hand's kind of being forced by Miami because they obviously have been a player in NIL. And so you start getting in these situations where it feels like God's hands are tied a little bit. Like
he's like, I want to go somewhere else.
But I'm going to go to Miami
but
for
the money is so good.
That I'm going to go. And then I'm going to hit the portal.
Smart kid.
You can't even sign anything in mid-January anyway, so.
I don't know why. I mean, he probably already signed his letter of intent.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's saying.
You know you don't have to sign a letter of intent, by the way, for all those recruits out there. Don't do it. Don't sign your life away.
This is what you're doing.
Don't have to do it. You can just still go to school.
Yeah.
You can commit. Get a scholarly. You don't have to sign the LOI.
Just ask Demetrius Robinson.
I don't think Kevin Falk signed his letter of intent, or was it? Might have been the basketball player. Who's my guy? Jordy's favorite player.
Who?
The point guard for LSU back in the day. Mahoud Rahif.
Oh, Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson. I don't think he ever signed his. That's who I'm talking about. He never signed his letter of intent when he went to LSU. He was like, I don't have to.
Andrew Messina, did Deion Smith ever land another college or JUCO? He was supposed to go JUCO somewhere, but I couldn't find him on any JUCO rosters. I don't know where he went. Former LSU signee out of Mississippi.
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
He's still balling in the like the 3-on-3 league that Ice Cube runs. Like he's like 55 years old and still giving people work. Yes, like that game didn't age at all. But that's not why people are here.
They're here for recruitment.
Okay, I'm caught up.
They're here for the
Shea hour. Shea the shower.
The hour.
I'm caught up now. Were y'all happy on signing day with Pimpton
cool.
Flippin'?
I was cool.
I mean,
you weren't
what do you mean you were cool? That was your mate. You had circled him a long time ago, but you felt like he was in the bucket.
Lloyd. So like, this year's signing day was like one of those days. We didn't do a recruit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Getting little thoughts here.
Well, this year's signing day was more of just like, all right, like we finally have the right coach. It just felt like, we didn't have any like surprises.
It felt easy.
Right. Nobody was like in the boat, out the boat. Like Dalen Austin, he was on flip watch. We had already talked about that. So it was kind of like, okay, like we might lose one, but we're going to get
Denver Harris.
So we're going to get whoever that we have in the boat.
Have you seen? Yeah, I agree 100%. It felt like it hasn't felt that way at LSU in a long time, where it was just like, this is kind of...
Man, y'all seem much better than the board I dealt with that just melted over Desmond Ricks.
It's just one. You always going to lose
That's
one.
That's what I'm saying. Like Desmond Ricks...
Dalen Austin might be the bigger deal than Desmond. Like, Desmond Ricks also was never even committed. Dalen Austin, who's maybe more college ready right now than Ricks is, was at least committed for 6 months and then flips on you.
But I mean, I understood that.
Yeah, because he's a California kid. We already saw that coming, Stewie.
We weren't. We weren't.
It never felt like he was. Yeah,
he wasn't locked in all the way.
No, he was making a visit every weekend somewhere.
He was dating us.
But he was. Yeah, he wasn't dating. He's still on Tinder.
Right.
And it felt like he just finally swiped right on Oregon when Phil Knight dropped the bag.
Respect.
Overall, you were happy.
Oh my God! Like that's what I'm saying. It felt like it's never.
Then you flip Pimpton.
You flip. You get your flip. Like that's if you can get 1 or 2 flips, that feels great. You lose. Like it always feels like you're going to lose 1 or 2 guys, regardless. That's how recruiting works, right? Like there's always going to be a quote unquote surprise. But it felt like everybody that was committed and how long they were committed to LSU never felt like you were worried about losing anybody. Obviously, there's guys like Tackett Curtis that remains.
Well, I mean, and when this staff got here, they knew they were not getting Tackett, Arch, Jaden Osbury, Derek Williams.
Yeah, those are the ones that hurt.
You knew that. I might be forgetting one more. You knew those guys were not. They were going to leave the state, so they did a good job of getting everybody
Osbury.
else.
Jordan Matthews, like you knew those kids were.
Yeah, like
we
then you go and get everyone else: Lance Hurd, Shelton, Tyree Adams, the running backs. And go on and on. I like Dylan Carpenter a lot.
Ricky Collins, Sheldon Sampson.
Oh yeah, Kylan Jackson.
And then who you were able to add through the portal felt also like a win. Like
no doubt. Okay, so then right here, this is a good question. Oh damn, Cody with another $5, just giving us shout outs. You said I felt like a nearly complete class with the portal. All right, Cody brings it up here. And Will England had asked thoughts on Cameron Jackson to Florida. He was one-time LSU guy. I don't think that LSU...
Will England, are you the same Will England I think you are from Northwestern State?
If he is...
Shout out.
Yeah, then Cameron Jackson's out of that area, huh? I'm not surprised. Florida's got some LSU or Louisiana guys on that staff.
Let's go, it is him.
Jackson.
What up, buddy? You left me in Shreveport.
Will. Yeah, I don't know. They wouldn't have gone after Cameron Jackson, I don't believe. I always thought he should have played offensive line, but he's been good at Memphis as a D lineman. Hunter Hall, okay, here's our debate. He said he asked this a couple weeks ago, would you rather have the number 1 high school class or number 1 portal class? My answer is crystal clear for me.
High school class.
No doubt.
Like, get these.
Give me a Bama class.
Every year.
Of 8 5-stars and fill in a bunch of needs. And
that's.
You can develop them across 4 years. You're good.
And I feel like that's kind of going, doesn't it feel like kind of what Bama did is going under the radar a little bit? Like, I know it's expected for them to have the number 1 class every year, but the way they cleaned up on the early signing day, where you're like, you look up and it's, goddamn, you got 7
Look,
5
I already
stars?
said it. Last year, whenever Saban called out Jimbo for buying the number 1 class and all that, it was not to the media. It was at a booster event that got recorded and leaked. Like,
yeah,
he was letting his fan base know if we want the number 1 class in the NIL era, we got to step it up.
We got to pay some.
And they rolled out 7 5-stars.
I mean, what, Jimbo? Why did you do that?
So would you rather have the number 1
up?
portal class or number 1 high school class?
I'd rather have the number 1 high school.
No doubt.
Yeah, because
that's the kids you could build on.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what Brian Kelly said. He's like, we use the portal to kind of like top off the tank. But if you're able to get guys in and develop them and guys that you have clearly marked as LSU material, quote unquote, I guess, and then those are the guys that you have to circle and want to be able to keep in the boat. Right. So, yeah, give me the high school kids all day, and then you're going to have some attrition in the portal, and that's when you go back to the portal. It's a wild time of college football, but this is where we are right now.
I like it. I like the high school heavy, which is what they're doing. 25 of them. What are they at? 7 portal guys. They'll add a few more. So they'll probably be at like 25 and 10 or something like that.
I like that.
Think about that, though. 35 probably of the 85 people on your roster are going to be new.
I mean,
they do have a lot of people coming back, though.
And, like, I would say the Baton Rouge contingent in this class is heavy. And a lot of those kids are, like, kind of acclimated to the roster and the culture.
They're
what I mean? So, like, they fit in. They fit right in.
Yeah,
so it's not like they're, so to speak, new.
Yeah, and hand up, like, obviously, whenever the Derek Williams news dropped, who's your guy? Jordan Matthews. Like, whenever LSU was losing those cats,
it was kind of nervous.
I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know if the staff realizes how much talent is in the state. I think they kind of got that figured out real quick whenever Frank Wilson entered the building. He's like, these are the guys that.
But I mean, also on those kids, it's like.
It was too late.
Right. Brian Kelly got here. They were already juniors. They had been getting recruited by the other schools for 3 years. Those other schools had coaches in place, ready to recruit them, ready for them to come to school. So kind of got to give Brian Kelly a mulligan on Derek Williams, Jaden Osbury, Like that group of kids.
Jordan Matthews,
that kid. The group of kids that are leaving this team.
Tackett. I'm cool with losing Tackett.
I'd take him, but I mean, like, I don't look at Tackett Curtis like a class changer. Like, I'd rather Jaden Ausberry than
Well,
Tackett
and
Curtis.
these days, that's what I thought about on signing day. The number one player in the country is from Louisiana, and signing day came and went, and not one LSU fan said, like, damn, that really broke us. Like, we didn't keep the number one player at home.
We did. We saw Arch the day after on New Year's.
I also think that the portal now helps you to the point where, as evidenced with Desmond Ricks, not getting him and losing Dalen Austin, as Stewie said, I wasn't freaking out because I knew a day later Denver Harris and Zy Alexander about to pop and move it on.
We got length and college experience. I'll take that all day.
Do you think Zy Alexander makes an impact?
Oh, yeah, he has to.
Kid had 19 picks, and I mean,
I do not think, I don't want to disparage anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is like the other FCS offers that they have brought in previously. I mean, he had Miami, Southern Cal, LSU.
Like, he was getting offers.
He had offers.
Okay. Because it just felt like that was a late addition because you lost to Dalen Austin, because you lost Desmond Ricks.
Well, I mean,
we got to go get somebody.
But you don't fall into your ass on 19 picks in college.
No.
Like
that's got to be bad quarterbacks.
Every time.
Right, that
dude,
ball
I
ain't
am
finding you that much.
I can't even play. They just keep throwing it at me.
I'm horrible, but hey,
go the other way
right in the
again.
gut.
So because it felt, I don't want to say it felt like who was the guy that they pulled from McNeese?
Colby Richardson.
Where it's like, okay, like
Evans,
that's like a nice addition, but I didn't know if
I think
this is a player.
This is a kid who seems to have NFL aspirations here. Daniel Glenn, is Langston ever going to see the field? I'm not surprised by that. He did not get any run out there that I saw in the bowl game. I think he's a portal type candidate.
I was going to say, I think he's a portal candidate, and I think Coach O was always so high on guys that he would never play, that wouldn't play at all. I think it was more of just him playing the media and playing the transfer.
And Langston was a late ad, and it was a 4-star and top 150 and all this. But
still, like, Coach O always had those players. Like, he had, like, Anthony Bradford last year. He talked about Anthony Bradford. Like, Anthony Bradford was
the best player on the offensive line.
Lyle Collins or something, or Andrew Whitworth, and he never even saw action. So it's like, Coach O almost circled players that he would
make you. It's the Kansas City Shuffle.
Right.
He'd make you look left and go right.
Like Sage Ryan. He talked about Sage Ryan every week leading up to a game last season, and Sage Ryan saw action in like 3 games.
I mean,
you
could even take it a step further in Bo Pelini.
Right, which is why Sage Ryan was in the place he was this season, where it was like, okay, you could tell there's some talent there, but he's also not there on the field yet because he hasn't played. So it's like, okay.
Right.
So he's just getting better, which he had a sneaky good bowl game, Coach. I don't know. All eyes on Sage next year.
And he did have Hot Mike Sage.
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
Hot Mike
That was
Sage.
unfortunate.
Yes, that was very unfortunate.
Bada bing, bada boom. Kayvon Thibodeau style. Elephant.
Kayvon Thibodeau was all time, but I don't think he knew he was hurt.
No, he didn't.
Oh my God, him doing that was just some bad optics.
Snow Angel.
Elephant in the room, Daniels Nuss Howard, who's not on the team come FSU game.
Walker Howard.
I'm not on the team next year.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I'm kidding.
I don't know the answer to this.
You got to stay the boat, Shea.
It's not a question. That's not how I think the question should be framed. The question is Nuss on the team or not?
Right. There's one odd man out. Like there will be. And this is what Jordy has talked about. We've talked about on the show, even in the recruiting hour. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you keep recruiting at this rate,
I
you're
think
going to have
Nuss
attrition.
wants to be here. I think Nuss thinks
he loves LSU.
I think Nuss thinks he's better than Jaden Daniels. So I think if Nuss truly believes he's given an opportunity, that he will stay through the spring and compete.
I think so.
And that's the plan.
I think come Florida State, I think LSU will have all 3 quarterbacks still on roster, and people will be surprised.
All right now. Write it down. Stewie said it first.
Because
nobody else is, I'm not saying you're wrong, but everybody's like, oh, someone's leaving.
I'm just following Brian Kelly's track record on quarterbacks. Like, he is not scared to bench anybody. Deshaun Kaiser was a projected number 1 overall pick, and he benched him. So I don't see Brian Kelly telling Jaden Daniels, you're the starter next year because you won 10 games, but if you fuck up once or twice.
He'll yank your ass.
Yeah, I'm pulling the plug.
And you can
on
see
this
how
thing.
hard he coaches the quarterback room because that's what he takes pride in. He takes pride in the offensive line and the quarterback. And, I mean, you saw what he did to Nussmeier, the Southern game, where it's like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Like, what? He's not afraid to kind of wear his emotion on his sleeve when it comes to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Everything else, he's very even keel. Speaking of recruiting, Tavion Galloway, LSU commit at tight end, just tweeted, people think he's going to leave his high school. And so this kind of speaks to his character. If he's committed to LSU, he's going to act like this for high school. People don't understand how many opportunities I had to leave the 740 last year. I'd imagine that's his area code, but I didn't. I had the chance to go to Columbus, IMG, Mater Dei, and St. John Bosco, but I stayed. So what makes you think I'm going to leave Chillicothe? My senior year.
Okay, cool.
So I mean,
I think he's in a documentary or something I read too.
He probably could. He is an IMG like type kid. Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
Seems
so if
like
he's
real football.
as somebody that's committed to LSU right now, it feels like a man that if he's going to make a statement like this, he ain't going to go back on his commitment either.
LSU has some real high character kids.
Graduate champions.
Like in the next couple years.
Oh,
Like,
Toviano and Yates, and after talking to them and Hurd, yeah, these are some. I'm just talking about kids I was talking to in Orlando, high character kids for sure. Shelton's real quiet.
Yeah, he is, but he's also like you could tell he's a good kid.
Great
Like,
kid.
People like him. Like,
And
Emory Jones is that way.
Yeah.
And Jay Bramblett just announced that he is coming. That he's going to run it back.
We'll take that.
Yeah, because he was like, that can't be my last game. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't get to play.
Punt.
But I mean, that's good. When you talk about special teams, obviously a point of emphasis going into the next year. I don't know how I know how you could correct it. I don't think they're going to make that move. But
yeah,
to be able to get some stability at punter is always nice. And then to have you add an Aaron Anderson. I mean, that's your punt returner.
Larry.
Watch out.
What's his name? Larry Francis has
Aaron
a good
Anderson
point.
If they don't.
He's good.
Larry Anderson has a good point in the chat. Sage Ryan is not playing his true position.
So he should be playing safety?
I think he should be playing safety.
I do too.
I think next year you'll
saw
see
the back of his jersey a lot.
Right, you'll see Sage Ryan at safety and probably Greg Brooks in the nickel.
You got Major Burns.
Major Burns is back, so you'll get Major Burns and a Sage Ryan safety combo. Major could help Sage on some things that he's probably not caught up to speed on at safety at this point.
And then you add Toviano.
Greg Brooks plays nickel.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you
Denver Harris, plug and play.
Yeah, and you find out the other cornerbacks.
Isaiah Alexander on the other side, probably.
Yeah, and you just go with
Toviano,
that.
get some run.
I think Isaiah Alexander has more college experience,
And
so
then
he'll probably be the first.
I mean, what did you think about Laterrence Welch in the bowl game?
You didn't hear about him, so he looked good.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, I think he's going to be a good enough player. That's always been the question.
That's somebody that I talked about Mason Smith earlier, a former LSU recruiting guy, that said to look like we asked him to highlight kind of who's up next for LSU, and he was real high on Laterrence Welch.
Okay, let's go. Well, there's only two of them.
We talk
and
about,
7 banks.
People talk about Travis Hunter. I've seen clips of Laterrence Welch running in phase with Travis Hunter, and he's the best athlete in the country by far.
Yeah.
On the college level.
Last one, hitting the 9 o'clock hour. Barry McConkiner or whatever. Are you concerned with Toviano's McConkiner? Am I saying this right?
You think that's his real name?
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be. Are you concerned with
Whatever.
Sorry.
You got caught.
Sorry, Barry. Are you concerned with Toviano's lack of speed? He was really exposed in Under Armour practices. I mean, I think he's a safety, first off, and he was playing corner, but he's going to try some corner. I don't think it's so much like a lack. Like, people have been like, he's got like a 4.8 somewhere. I would say more like track times is what you can kind of, like, 40s are really tough to judge when you're not at like an NFL combine. So, like, he's not a blazing track guy. I think he's got football speed, and he's really smart, and he recovers well. I mean, I watched him guard a lot of the good receivers, Noah Rogers, all them, and he was in phase with everything. Now, Harbor ran by him. Maybe that's who Barry's referencing, but Harbor runs by anybody.
Breaking news courtesy of Brody Miller. Freshman LSU linebacker Demario Tolan has entered the transfer portal. The Athletic has just learned. This is a surprise. Tolan really impressed as a freshman, and most assumed he'd compete for a big role next year. Shout out Brody he was saying he wasn't in the portal when he came on in the
he said he didn't
the first
know
hour.
if he was
Yeah,
in the
and he was like he wasn't sure, but Demario Tolan has just put his name in the transfer portal, so
lose a little bit of linebacker depth.
Yeah, because it felt like he was gonna, like Brody highlighted, it felt like he's gonna be a player.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know,
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
The portal giveth and the portal taketh.
away.
So do you think that there's
Maybe they go after a linebacker out there.
Who would be a name that you would highlight
Whit
before we
Weeks.
get out of here? Oh, God, no, in the portal.
I don't know. I have to see who's all's in there. Well, I wasn't expecting them to have to. I didn't know Demario was pulling
Me either,
this.
but I mean, it's
Lloyd's day is shot.
Not much in the portal.
So,
yeah,
keep an eye on it.
Clayton Smith from Oklahoma.
He's not that good.
Not that good?
No.
You're just obsessed with Weeks. You just want to see both the brothers out
Put
there.
them out there.
High five each other, shake each other's hand.
I want to shake his hand.
Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Shake my hand. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The Recruiting Hour brought to you by Lance Beal. Do we have Mr. Beal on the line? All right. And what else do we need? What's my song?
Fix.
Give me the fixins.
You got to do your send off.
What's my send off?
Just shutting down the show.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
to
joining us.
That came through. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you, Shay. We got through it. 2 hours down in the books. Mic'd up tonight, 6 to 8. Before that, we will have Nick Diaz at 3 o'clock. So the program continues. The party marches on. Jordy, put some pants on.
Yes. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by
Go Chevrolet. Shay Hour. God damn it. I hate Shay the Shower Hour. Brought to you by Lance Beal. Thank you.
He's still the power. I still love you, Shay.
Used to be, when you needed legal help for complicated issues, you could walk into your hometown lawyer's office and get assistance for a variety of legal needs. Nowadays, every time you have a different issue, it seems like you have to meet a new lawyer at a new law firm for every legal problem. Attorneys Lance Beal and Kenny Hebert at Beal & Hebert in Lafayette are here to offer you one law firm for all your legal needs. Beal & Hebert have several attorneys experienced in multiple areas of law, whether it's personal injury, family law, estate planning, business law, construction law, and more. Beal & Hebert can handle all of your legal needs. Beal & Hebert, Louisiana's hometown lawyers.